Today's ADHD hack is how to overcome the fear of rejection. I wrestled with people pleasing all my life. It was more than just saying yes to people, It was about the emotional pain if I felt I had to say no to someone. In most cases, saying no wasn't an option. The pain was too real. The fear of someone rejecting me overwhelmed me. What if they didn't like me? What if they get mad? The thought of someone getting mad at me or not liking me was off the charts. And as a pastor, this really became a problem. I had people all the time that wanted information or wanted some help or wanted to talk. And when I put the needs of others, forsaking the needs of my family, it really caused hurt. There were no healthy boundaries. Now, in learning more about ADHD, I came across new information on people-pleasing. See, I never knew that I had the characteristics of ADHD. No one ever gave me a test, or I didn't know really much about it. It wasn't until people in my family started experiencing, and other people would come to me for counseling. I said, I really have to study this. And as I did, I found out that people with ADHD do have a problem. It's prevalent among people with ADHD to have this problem with people pleasing, with fear of rejection. In fact, they have a name for it. It's called Rejection Sensitive Dysphoria, RSD. Now, what is rejection sensitive dysphoria? Well, rejection sensitive dysphoria is when you experience severe emotional pain because of a failure or feeling rejected. The condition is linked to ADHD, and experts suspect it happens due to differences in brain structure. Those differences mean your brain can't regulate rejection-related emotions and behaviors, making them much more intense. The modulation goes up much more than in a neurotypical brain. The word dysphoria comes from an ancient Greek word that describes a strong, if not overwhelming, feeling of pain or discomfort. Though RSD isn't an officially recognized symptom or diagnosis, it still is a term that experts use in connection with this intense fear of rejection. Now, while rejection is something people usually don't like, the negative feelings that come with RSD are stronger and can be harder to manage. People with RSD are also more likely to interpret vague interactions as rejection and may find it difficult to control their reactions. Now, this can also come from the sense of disapproval during childhood. Getting into trouble when you're not sure why you're doing certain things makes it feel like you can't help a situation and you have to please people the best you can. It gives us low self-esteem, right? Which adds to the fact that I need to please you because there's something wrong with me. Or we get this interpretation that love is conditional. You'll love me if I don't, reject you. You'll love me if I do everything you say. And that can become a problem. So how do we overcome RSD? Well, first of all, acknowledge it as a false alarm. When our emotional reaction to an event or circumstance is out of proportion to the situation, then we know it is coming from somewhere earlier in our life. There's been an association made in the past that said that not pleasing someone is dangerous. The association has been wired into our brain. But that doesn't make it legitimate. It's a false alarm. It's a false alarm. And we need to treat it that way. We need to turn off the alarm. When we know that, hey, we have to listen to everybody and do everything we say, we know in our brain that that's not true. So therefore, when we feel we have to do it, that's a false alarm. Now, it's hard to ignore an alarm. You need to realize it's false and immediately turn it off. Here are a couple ways. Well, number one, recognize you're not going to die. Now that sounds silly, but think about it. RSD causes a physical reaction. It's the same feeling as if a truck was coming straight at you. You feel like you're going to die. You have to do something. But realize this, it's just an illusion. It's an over amplification of our danger signal. It's faulty wiring. It's a false alarm. You're not going to die if someone's not pleased with you. Sit with your feeling. Observe it. It's just a feeling. Just observe it as if you were like scuba diving underwater and just relaxing and looking, and here comes the very beautiful fish just floating in front of you. You're peaceful, calm, and serene. Say it with me. I'm not going to die. Let that sink in. Second thing you can do is breathe. Breathing is the body's braking system. As soon as we feel ourselves escalating emotionally, we need to stop and inhale slowly. And then take twice as long to exhale. The exhale is the brake. That is why I like to do that like 1-to-2 ratio. I exhale twice as long as I inhale. Do this 3 times and you'll find that your prefrontal cortex is online so you can think of what you want to do next. It is time to pause and then plan. And the third thing, reframe the past. Now, when you think of a recent time, you can think of a recent time when you felt the pressure to people please. Just focus on that. Focus on the sensations. How did it feel? You know, you were all upset, right? Feel that feeling. And once you fully sense it, let it just take you to a time when you felt that way before. See if you can recollect a time when you felt that way. What was the situation? What was going on? How did you feel? What were you believing? A lot of time we will recall a time when we were younger, when we acquiesced to someone's demands. And you felt a strong emotion, but you realized how dangerous it would be not to please a person. Or perhaps you said no and you got in trouble. Now stand in that memory. Stand in there as you are today. Go into that memory, not just as your younger self, but with you standing next to your younger self. And be there, calm, and politely refuse. Put your arm around your younger self and say, no, we're not going to do it. And let them get mad. But that's okay. You're an adult. You can handle that. It's okay. It's their issue at this point. They're over-emoting for whatever reason. You can imagine they're upset. That's okay. You can see it as their issue, and they cannot hurt you. Not now. You are being fair, polite, and understanding. It's okay to say no. You do not have to please them in that way. They should be pleased that you are mature and wise enough to set boundaries. You can relax and feel free from the bondage of people-pleasing. Breathe as you do that. Practice in your mind saying, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And then, as you practice that, that's the next thing. Practice that truth. The truth is it's okay to be healthily assertive, to set boundaries, healthy boundaries, and not rescue others all the time. It's okay to say no when it's not convenient or someone is taking advantage of your kindness. Meditate on that. Visualize yourself saying no with a smile on your face, a kind, understanding smile, and the other person receiving it. Now it helps if you can think of what you feel like when someone says no to you. If you can be kind and forgiving in that situation, assume that others can too. If they can't, well, you're not going to die. All right, if this is something you need to work on, try what I've said today. Go back and review the video. But if you're still struggling with it, see a counselor. Talk to them about it. Don't live this way. You can overcome it. You can feel good in your own skin when you are healthily assertive saying no. A good counselor can help you set healthy boundaries and help you with the freedom when it comes time to say no. Thanks for joining me with ADHD Hacks. Please like and subscribe so you won't miss any of our helpful videos. Also, for more books, videos, and information, you can go to ronovet.com.